There are three players in Nebraska's offense who the coaching staff, they do not want you to talk about. They don't want you to know about them because, frankly, they are going to shock everybody this year and take over the Big Ten. So in today's video, I'm going to give you a peek behind the curtain. I'm going to reveal who these three players are, what they've been doing so far in practice, what their role is going to be, are they potentially going to start, and then when it's all said and done, why they're going to change everything for the Huskers this season. So really quick, this is a fun video going over Nebraska's three hidden gems on offense. Hit that like button if you're fired up. And also, if you're a diehard Nebraska fan and you're not subscribed, what are you waiting for? For daily content, talking about your favorite team, talking Huskers, it's a no-brainer, takes 2 seconds. Hit that subscribe button. Thank you so much. But without further ado, let's get to it. Talking about Nebraska's three secret weapons on offense that the coaching staff, they do not want you to know about. And really quick, I have a big channel announcement next week, next Saturday on July 26th at 10 o'clock Central. I will be posting my second annual Nebraska deep dive. This is the biggest video that I do every single year. I put hours of work into it with advanced statistics, advanced graphics, film, interviews this year, and so much more. It is going to be over 1 hour long, filled to the brim with content and information. So please set your calendars, put on notifications next Saturday, July 26th at 10 o'clock Central. It's the biggest video I do every year. You're going to want to be there for it. Thank you so much. All right, with that being said, let's get into the video talking about Nebraska's three hidden gems on offense, secret weapons, if you will, going into this year. And I want to get things started. At the wide receiver position, somebody who I'm very high on, you probably already know who this is if you watch the channel enough, none other. Demitrius Bell, who's going to shock everybody this season. So let's go back in a time machine. Let's go back to spring of 2024. Because back then, Demitrius Bell was starting every single practice for Nebraska. He was looking phenomenal. He was outplaying guys like Isaiah Nair, Jamal Banks, Jacory, Barney every single day in practice. And for that reason, Nebraska, not only were they expecting to start him in the fall, they were expecting him to potentially be the receiving leader, the touchdown leader, and for him to break out in a big way. We know that he was impressing the coaching staff with his speed, with his route running, with his run after catch ability, with his flexibility, which is super important, just with his versatility. But when it's all said and done, we know what happened. Demitrius Bell in the spring game of 2024 tore his ACL. He was out for all of the entire season. He was out for spring ball this year for precautionary issues. But now he's completely back. He is 100% healthy for the first time in a long time. And there are a lot of expectations within the Nebraska coaching staff, within the fan base, that he's going to be even better than what he was back in spring of 2024. So there's a lot to like around Demitrius Bell. I think it goes back to the speed, the thing you can't teach. He runs a legit 4.4. He's incredibly elusive, just like Jacory Barney, where he can make some out of nothing. You can put him all over the field. And honestly, I think my favorite part about Demitrius Bell is simply his run after catch ability. It's phenomenal, right? If he gets a little slant, he can take it all the way to the house. He has great speed, a great juke move. So Demitrius Bell is somebody who's just incredibly productive. Nebraska, there's a reason why Matt Rule, like quietly, he posted a couple times on social media, like you don't know, but you will know soon enough about Demitrius Bell. He's posted that a couple times, right? On his Instagram story, on his Twitter page, because again, there's a lot of expectation within that coaching staff that Demitrius Bell, he's going to go back to what he was in spring of 2024. He's going to shock everybody in a big way. So in my opinion, as it stands, he's the fourth best receiver on Nebraska's roster. You know, this receiver room is obviously very packed with Jacory, Dane, Nyziah, but I think he's head and heels above, Janiran, Bonner, a couple of these other guys. I think Demitrius Bell is going to shock everybody. He's also a guy who can definitely get involved on special teams. So this is somebody who, man, just buy stock right now on Demitrius Bell because he is really, really good. He's Jacory Barney before Jacory Barney. We talk about Jacory Barney. I believe Jacory Barney is the best player on this roster. Okay, what does that say if Demitrius Bell was out playing Jacory Barney every single day in practice in spring of 2024? What does that tell you about Demitrius Bell? That tells you that he's a very, very good player. And, it's not like Jacory Barney came here and struggled immediately. That wasn't the case. Jacory hit the ground running. We knew he was going to be good the second he came here. But Demitrius Bell's out playing. Tells you a lot. And that tells you why the coaching staff, they made it a point of emphasis to make sure he didn't enter the portal in December. He could have entered the portal. We've seen a lot of times where these guys, they get injured and they say, I'm going to go back to Tennessee. I'm going to go back home. Demitrius Bell very well could have entered the portal. Nebraska, they did whatever it took. They said, you know what? No, because you're so talented. We want to keep you here. That says a lot. Expect Demitrius Bell to have a breakout season this year. So I'm buying the Demitrius Bell stock. I'm sipping the Kool-Aid. Let's get into number 2. Let's go over the wide receiver position, the tight end position. We talked about wide receiver. Let's go to tight end. Someone I think just isn't discussed enough. None other than Mr. Markway. So again, a lot of times when we talk about tight end, we talk about Heinrich Haarberg. We talk about Luke Lindenmeyer, who's a start in the spring. We even talk about Card Nelson, obviously, kid coming out of Nebraska. But Markway, without a doubt, in my opinion, might just be the most talented tight end on this roster. But at the very same time, he's the most complete tight end on this roster. He's 260 pounds. He's 6'4". We forget that he played at LSU as a true freshman. He played in almost every single game at LSU. Okay. If you can play at almost every single game at LSU in the SEC, what does that say about you? It means you're a stud, especially as a true freshman. Former big-time recruit at every single offer you can imagine. Okay, Markway is somebody who is the only tight end on this roster, in my opinion, who can do both. Who's a complete vertical threat, who's very athletic, great hands, great route running, great speed, but is also a phenomenal blocker. He's the only guy on this roster who can do both. Lindenmeyer, while he's been getting better at catching the football, he's more of a blocking tight end. We know the Heinrich Haarberg, more of a utility knife. Nelson, definitely, it's only a vertical threat. He can't block for anything. Markway can do both. So that's why he's a complete hidden gem for Nebraska, because if he does, in fact, stay healthy, get on the field, which is the big concern around him, he could very well be a starting 10 because he's the most talented tight end on this roster, in my opinion, and I don't even know if it's close. Okay, he's a guy with NFL aspirations, but once again, the only thing with Markway is simply, can he stay healthy? Because that was the issue back when he was, a high schooler in St. Louis. That was the issue at LSU. That's the issue here. The second he got to Nebraska, transferred here from LSU, he tore his ACL. He was out all the spring ball this year. We haven't seen him practice really at all. I think he practiced like twice as a Nebraska Cornhusker. So that's the only thing about Markway. Can he stay healthy? But this could very well be your starting tight end. I think it will be very much. Like if he stays healthy in spring and fall ball and plays to, up to his potential, I see no reason that he's not going to be at Lindenmeyer. He's definitely going to be at Haarberg. And with Cardinals, with all his question marks, I think this could be your starting tight. I think you're looking at him right now. Again, if he stays healthy, but this is a very talented tight end who can do both. He's very, very physical, but he also is a vertical threat. So we'll watch out for Mr. Markway. And then, last but not least, let's talk about true freshman. Let's go back to receiver to end things off. Not Isaiah Mozee, not Cortez Mills. This is Jeremiah Jones. And this is honestly the guy who just doesn't get talked enough about that wide receiver position as a true freshman. Again, we know we like to hype up Cortez, and Cortez is going to be good. Same deal with Isaiah Mozee. But Jeremiah Jones, from just a raw upside standpoint, might just be the most talented player on this team, without hyperbole. 6'4", runs a legit 4.40 time. I compared him a lot to Michael Terry. Of course, that was a former player that Nebraska really wanted. Whereas, just like Michael Terry, Jeremiah Jones could play every single position on the football field. He played quarterback in high school. He played running back. He played receiver. He played tight end. He played safety. He played linebacker. He can do literally everything. He's so athletically gifted. You can put him all over the field. He's going to be successful. So Jeremiah Jones, he's kind of like a Malachi Coleman in a way where, Malachi was super athletically gifted. Jeremiah Jones might even be a lot more than him. Like, here's Malachi. Here's Jeremiah Jones. And Jeremiah Jones does everything right off the field. He's a guy who is going to be bought in from Monday to Friday. He's going to be working hard to learn the playbook, right? This is somebody in Nebraska. They're paid him as much as anybody else in this freshman class because of how badly they wanted him, because they know his freak upside. So Jeremiah Jones, somebody who I can very well see the headline. Week 1 of Nebraska fall practice. Jeremiah Jones shocks everybody. The same way we got that same headline with Keone Davis. Jeremiah Jones is that one guy I think we're going to see that this year. Okay, because again, with his freak size, he's just going to jump out. It'll be pretty evident when you see Jeremiah Jones at that wide receiver spot, 6'4", runs a 4.4. Like, it'll be pretty evident. He'll stick out pretty much right away. He really will. We kind of lack some size in this receiver room right now, quietly. Jeremiah Jones is the tallest receiver in this room, not named Quinn Clark, and he's also potentially the fastest receiver, not named Jacory Barney. Like, that says a lot. I think he's going to break out in a big way. It's going to be one of those guys where it's just hard to redshirt him because he's so talented. They're going to find a way to get him in the ball game, which way or another. So those are, in my opinion, the 3 hidden weapons, secret weapons, whatever you want to call it, for Nebraska and the offense going into this season. Guys who have a lot of expectations for. Now, there's a couple other guys who are probably honorable mentions. I think, honestly, Mekhi Nelson could be an honorable mention. I think a Kenneth Williams, running back, could be honorable mention with his speed. You got a couple other guys there, potentially a wide receiver that could potentially get involved. That's really about it. Offensive line, I think Kaahaaina-Torres could be a hidden gem. But really, those are the 3 skill position guys I have my eyes out for. Let me know your thoughts down below. Did I miss one guy? Let me know. Let me know in the comment section. And I already know I'm going to get comments that say, Wilson, if they're hidden weapons, why are you exposing them? The teams are going to figure them out sooner or later, right? I mean, I don't know if teams are really scouting my videos. Maybe they are. But we got to talk about some. So I'm talking about these 3 hidden weapons. All right, guys, let me know your thoughts down below. Hey, if you made it far, hit the like button and subscribe. As always, folks, go rule and see you in the next one.